Yeah, this a hit right here, Zay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to hop on here and give you guys a quick video touching on psychology, right, and the importance of the psychology in trading. There's a couple of things I wanted to speak on specifically. The first three things I'm going to touch on in these types of videos is FOMO, right? Confidence, and forcing yourself to focus on one particular setup, right? And so the first one is, of course, FOMO, fear of missing out. You know, there's always setups. That's the first thing you want to think about. There's always going to be setups in the marketplace. There's opportunities everywhere. Okay, it's just your level of understanding at this current moment. If you're dealing with the fear of missing out, it's just based on, you know, where you're currently at, right? Because once you know what you're looking for, once you are confident in what it is that you're trying to pull out of the marketplace or what you're looking for, the fear of missing out tends to go away, right? The fear of missing out just comes from you being new. We all face that at some point, right? Everyone at the beginning stages, you know, we want to make money, right? So we feel like we got to be in the market constantly. And trading isn't really like a job, right? It's not like a regular job. It's, you know, the employee mindset is, you know, when I show up, I should be getting paid. But in trading, it's just not like that, right? You can have a losing week and then the next week make all your losses back plus someone's yearly salary. You know what I mean? Like when the numbers are up. But you know, the fear of missing out goes away after you know what you're looking for, okay? And you just come to terms with the fact that you don't have to trade every day and that you're not missing anything if you do decide to take a day off, or if you do have a bad day, or a day that you just can't seem to get in sync with the marketplace. You know, the fear of missing out is, in my opinion, it's just like a rookie thing, right? When you're new, you feel like, you know, if you see a big move, you feel like there's not going to be another move because, you know, you're not in tune with your model or how often it repeats, and you just don't have enough experience. So you just start overthinking, right? So the fear of missing out, that could be dealt with by you just studying, right? Giving yourself permission to take as long as it needs, or as long as you need, to become good at identifying what you're looking for, because that's the thing, it stems from that. If you don't know what you're looking for and you see a big move, now you start overthinking, like, oh my god, I should get in, and then you chase price, and then of course we know how that ends up. Right? So fear of missing out, you know, another thing about that is, you know, don't relate your personal problems with the marketplace, right? Or like if you're having a bad day, never run to the marketplace because you want that good feeling. You know what I mean? That's just asking for a problem, because you're going to force yourself, you're going to chase trades. You know, there is processes that you can use to get back in sync in a move that, like with a move that's already taken off. Like right here, for example, how there's the fair value gaps that get created, and then there's this bullish order block. So like it already took off. I mean, you could have even got in here as well, right? Just, you know, for example purposes, and then attack the peer. But you have to get used to that, right? So that's definitely something to think about when it comes to the fear of missing out, right? There is processes that can get you back in sync with the moves, but you got to learn. You got to spend time and learn those things. You know what I mean? So yeah, going back to what I just said, like, don't mix your personal problems with the marketplace. You have to, at some point in your life, at some point in your trading career, you have to figure out how you can detach yourself from, you know, reality in a way. Because if you're going through something and you bring those emotions to trading, you're going to be trading emotionally. You're not going to be able to effectively make decisions, because you're just going to be thinking about all your problems. Then you're going to try to get the market to, you know, like, fix your issues, right? Whether they're personal, financial, whatever it may be. And the market just doesn't care. You know what I mean? It doesn't care that Joe is over here having depression, or his wife just left him, or, you know, he had a bad day at work, you know, things like that. It just doesn't matter. If anything, they want you to go into the market with that type of mentality. They want you to feel like you have to be in the market constantly, you know what I mean, to just to have you fall on your face. You got to keep in mind, this market's not made, it wasn't put here so everyone can fulfill their destinies in the marketplace. It just wasn't created for that. It's part of the ways that the banks make money, you know what I mean. It's part of their business, so we got to always keep that in mind. So that's my thoughts on the fear of missing out, right? If you have any questions or anything about that specific topic, let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to touch on those in further videos, right? Moving forward, right, we'll talk about confidence, okay? So confidence, I look at confidence as a double-edged sword, because one, you have to have confidence in what it is that you're trying to do for you to be able to effectively execute, because if you're not confident, you're going to be scared to execute, right? If you're not confident in what you're looking for, if you're not comfortable with your model, it can lead to a bunch of problems, right? And then once your confidence is gone, right, that's your mental capital. If your confidence gets gone, then you're just going to hesitate, and when you hesitate, nothing good comes from that. So confidence, like I said, there's two sides to it. Confidence can help you get into trades or execute on your when your model is showing with no fear, because you're confident, and you've seen it a bunch of times, and you know what you're looking for. But then being overconfident can make you, can provoke the market to give you the smackdown, right? I like to classify it as that. Because once you're too overly confident, you're going to be reckless. You're not going to be thinking clearly. You're going to think you're on top of the world. And although it feels great to be on a winning streak, you got to be able to manage even the good times, because if you don't manage the good times, you're going to end up making, rookie mistakes and going away from your trading plan and your risk rules, because I just won thousands of different trades or whatever, right? You got to remember, no moment in the market is the same. It's always different. Nothing is picture perfect, copy paste the same way every single scenario for any model. There's always deviations that that differ from one another. Every moment in the market is special, okay? It's unique. Mark Douglas is the one that said that in his book Trading in the Zone, okay? So Trading in the Zone, The Disciplined Trader, and this other book called The Mental Edge in Trading. I highly recommend that you get those. The Mental Edge in Trading is by Jason Williams, which is Larry Williams' son. He's a psychologist. And of course, Mark Douglas. If you guys have been trading for any amount of time, I'm sure you've heard that name. So make sure that you read those. I don't care if you don't like to read. You also probably don't like being broke. So I highly suggest that you submit to making the changes and doing things, getting in tune with things like reading and stuff. It's not like you're reading fairy tales, okay? These are books that can really truly help you shift your perspective into a successful trader mindset, okay? So, you can get audiobooks. They have some on YouTube as well for for the Disciplined Trader and Trading in the Zone. So you can, if you don't like reading physically, like me, I don't really like sitting there and reading. I get hecka tired when I do that, right? And I lose focus. But if I'm listening to like an audiobook or something, it helps me out. Like when I'm driving or going about my day, I could just, listen to it and stuff like that. So just some thoughts for you. So yeah, confidence, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You got to be very careful, right? It's good to be confident, but you have to understand how you're going to be able to control both sides of the field, okay? Being your overconfidence, you got to minimize that. And being, underconfident, right? Not having the confidence because maybe you took a couple losing trades. You have to be able to shake that off too, because remember, no moment in the marketplace is the same. It's always different. So there's no relation between the trades that you took previously and the trade that you'll be taking in the future. Just because you lost before doesn't mean you're going to lose the next time when your model performs. This is why, you want to have your process like memorized, burn it into your brain, okay? Because once you have the process, you can basically remove emotions. Of course, money's involved, so we're always going to have some type of thoughts about the amount of money we can make or the amount of money we can lose, right? But if you have a process that like the back of your hand, and you do the same thing over and over and over, your confidence will go up. You know what I mean? And you won't have to have any doubts in your mind. Also, speaking of processes, you want to have a process that has to do with your risk rules, the amount of trades that you take in a day, and how much of a loss that you feel like you can encounter before you say it's time to skip the day. Okay, those are very, very important. So you want to, that goes back to the process portion of things. You want to have the same process for everything, from what your setup looks like to risk management to how you're going to manage your emotions. You need a process for all those. Okay. So yeah, that's my thoughts on confidence, and how it's a double-edged sword, right? Being overconfident can lead to rookie mistakes. Not being confident enough can make it so you have difficulties in executions, even when a good trade shows itself. And the solution, like I said, is to know your process. Okay. So moving forward, right? The next topic is you want to make sure that you're forcing yourself to do one setup. Okay. Look for one setup. I know we all want to trade all day long, right? Day trading is not everyday trading, like ICT says, right? Forcing yourself to one setup. I like to use this analogy where, if you're trying to do all kinds of different systems, right, or different approaches at one time, you're going to overthink. You're going to be looking for too many things. Everything's going to seem super complicated when it doesn't have to be. Okay. And the analogy that I like to use is, look at your setups, look at each model as a job title. Okay. If you're doing all kinds of different shit at once, you know what I mean? It's like you're basically going into a job trying to do every single position. You know what I mean? You just can't do that. Of course, later on down the journey, you'll end up having more skills and familiarity with different things and how they all go together. But at first, stick to your one job title, right? Stick to your one model, because you have to become a professional at one thing in order to be, good at the other things, and be able to merge them together, because all these concepts, a lot of them go together. Like this is an optimal trade entry also, okay, along with the YouTube model that ICT is teaching. Okay, so there's an optimal trade entry here, there's an optimal trade entry here, right? So there's so many things that work together. After a while, once you understand your specific bread and butter setup, then you can start putting other things together and building additions to your trading plan. But until that time comes to make your life easier, focus on one thing to specifically execute on. You can learn the other things. I'm not saying don't look at everything and try to soak up as much as possible. But when it comes to figuring out your entries and like what system you're trying to use to execute in the marketplace, you need to focus on one thing, because if you don't, you're just going to be pulled everywhere, and you're going to have hit and miss results, and you're going to get frustrated. You're going to think this stuff is too hard for you. You're never going to figure it out. And those types of thought patterns are just not necessary, especially in this type of work. Okay. So, focusing on one setup, right? The importance of it is, like I said, you want to focus on one because you want to keep your focus narrowed. Okay. And keep this in your mind. When you try to do too many things at once, try to find too many different models at any given moment. Okay. It's like you're trying to work 500 different job titles in a job. You're just not going to succeed in that. in real life, in a job, or in trading, especially in trading. Okay. But later down the line, you'll get comfortable with merging the other things together, because you'll know the other topics better. You'll know when and what things look like, when things set up, and what scenarios call for the other specific models, because there's different scenarios and rules for each model. Okay. So keep that in mind. Like, breakers have rules, optimal trade entry has rules, this model here has rules, and they don't all go together at every single moment in the market. Sometimes things go together like this, but there's different scenarios for different things. Okay. Just like there's different job titles for different things that are done in a business, right? So just some things for you guys to consider and think about. I wanted to make sure that I started a psychology playlist, because I know when I first started, I wish I had more emphasis on the psychological aspects of things, besides just people telling us, oh, don't overtrade, or don't do this, don't do that, right? There's deeper things that can be a lot more helpful than someone just saying something broad like that. Okay. So I hope this helped you guys out. If you guys like the content that we're producing here, if you could follow the Instagram page at _ WMGFX. We also have a Twitter, WMG Trading. And then, of course, we got this YouTube channel as well. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. In the comments also, guys, if you can, let me know of any topics you guys struggle with, any other types of content that you guys would like to see, because this channel is basically made for you guys. It's not made for me. We could be over here sitting and not talking to anybody, just winning in silence if we wanted to, but I just feel like I have an obligation, because of all the nonsense that we see on a day-to-day basis, especially in this time, right? Because a lot of crazy things going on right now, and I just want to do what I can to help people out in any way possible. So thank you for your time, you guys, and like I said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Yeah, this a hit right here, Zave.